Welcome to Empowered by Iron, hosted by Dr. Kristin Lander from Fiercely Fueled Nutrition Coaching and Mary Morton from M&M Coaching, remote coaching for the novice athlete. Together, we are empowered by iron. Hey everyone, so welcome back to Empowered by Iron. This week we're going to get a little life update from Kristin. So as many of you know, Kristin underwent a double mastectomy as a preventative for breast cancer. About how many weeks has it been now?
Almost 6.
Shit, it's been a while.
I know.
Still seems kind of like yesterday. I feel like. Let's show your 6 weeks post-op.
Yeah.
You've been cleared to do some things, not cleared to do other things.
Yeah.
Can you give us like a little update? Like how did the surgery go?
Okay, so the surgery went super well as far as I know. Obviously, I was asleep. But
They wouldn't have told you. They'd be like, don't tell her about that part.
There were no complications. Everything went 100% according to plan. Still nothing can prepare you for that moment when you wake up and you're like, holy shit, I'm in pain. Like I woke up in a lot of pain.
But they had the good stuff, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I was on the good stuff and they were asking me what my pain levels were and I was like 8 out of 10. I mean, I was in a lot of pain. And they were a little surprised by that. So, so then I got on morphine and some other stuff. I don't even know. Anyway, it was good. I stayed the night in the hospital. But I am a redhead and redheads react notoriously poorly to anesthesia. And so
That's so weird.
it is weird. So I got up to my hospital room finally after I woke up in post-op and I saw that it was dark outside and that really surprised me. And because I went in and my surgery was at I don't know, I think I got to the hospital at like 11 o'clock in the morning. So
Yeah,
it was it was dark out when I got up to my room. And I thought, I know that I don't remember a lot of things after anesthesia. So I thought maybe I had already interacted with my husband and he went home for the night, or I didn't know what happened. So I started bawling and freaking out. And my nurse was like, what's wrong? And I was like, what? Do you know where my husband is? And I was really upset. And she was like, she was like, here, honey, let's call him. And somehow I knew his phone number. I don't know how.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So we called him and he was like, no, I'm still sitting down. No one told me you were done. So so anyway, he came up and calmed me down and everything was fine. And
Your husband didn't leave you.
he didn't leave me. I knew he wouldn't have left me. I was paranoid. I had already talked to him and he went home for the night and I didn't remember it.
Oh.
So that's what I was afraid of. Yeah. So anyway, he was there and everything was fine. The surgery went really well. I went home the next morning. And it was unlike anything I could have ever prepared for. Like I couldn't even reach a glass of water that was sitting an inch away from me.
Could you lift your arms at all?
I couldn't lift my arms at all. I couldn't reach anything that was to the side of me. So I could hold a glass of water and then if there was a table right in front of me, I could set it on there, but I couldn't move my arms much.
So you went from 100,000% independent to you couldn't move your body.
Yeah, I was completely dependent upon people to do basically everything. I couldn't get out of a chair by myself. I couldn't get out of bed by myself. It was insane. And luckily that only lasted, by day 4, I was a little bit more independent. I mean, I could go for walks and do stuff not really on my own because I was pretty drugged up and no one trusted me to go anywhere on my own, but
that's fair.
But by the time my mom flew in to help take care of me, and by the time she left 1 week post-op, I was getting pretty independent. So
good. Yeah.
Right. So it was I got better pretty quickly, but then there's this wall that occurs in healing that a lot of people in my support group talk about. You just hit this wall at some point where you can do more stuff, but there's still a lot of stuff you can't do. and you feel somewhat okay, and it's like you just kind of hang out there for a really long time. And it's really frustrating because by that point in time, I was actually back to work part-time.
Which is crazy
So,
to me.
yeah, I went back to work on day 19. I mean, I didn't really have an option.
Yeah, I know.
My doctor cleared me too, so I was like, all right,
I
I'm
know.
going to try.
I mean, I already know all this stuff. I'm
Right.
just
Right. Yeah, a lot of people, if you're not familiar, a lot of people take like 4 to 6 weeks off work, even if they have a desk job. So I was back to work on day 19, just like half schedule. So, and that was pretty exhausting. And so I would work for 4 hours and then I would sleep for like 20 hours. And that's just kind of how it went for a little while. And then I was cleared to start doing stuff at the gym. Hooray!
ah.
At about, I can't remember. Do you remember when that was? Right about the time I went back to work, I think. It was
Yeah,
like
you
three,
came
I was
in
like
and
3
did
weeks.
some really light stuff.
Yeah, I was cleared to work my legs. And so I asked my doctor, I was like squats? And he was like, maybe like squats in a machine. And I was like, that does not compute. What is that?
What's a
I
machine
don't-
squat?
I don't really know.
Is that a
what-
computer game? I'd like to play that.
It's like, I don't really know what that is. And he was like, well, I'm just concerned, with a barbell on your back that you're going to be like contracting your pec muscles or something. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. So I came into the gym and I remember I tried with the
Yeah.
barbell and
And you
I
were
did.
fine.
It was totally fine.
You
So
did
I was
cardio
doing-
though.
Well, I did. I was doing sets of like 15 or something.
I know.
Because I was afraid to put a lot of weight on there. Because he told me I could do 50% of my old weights. And I was like, I don't think you mean that.
Because your old
That's-
50 is like 260 pounds.
Right.
That's your
My
old max.
old max. Yeah.
So
So I was
50% of
like,
that is a
I
lot.
don't think you want me starting there. Like, that's not. No. So I started at like, once I knew the bar was okay, I started at like 50%. So it's 30%.
30%.
It was 30%.
That's
I've
amazing.
since worked up to 50%. So I'm
Big
doing.
girl weights now.
Yeah. So I'm doing some front squats and some back squats. And then the other thing he said I could do was isolated bicep and tricep movement, which I have not done in like 20 years. And I was like, okay, well.
So you're a bro now.
Yeah, so I I do squats and then I bro out in the front of the mirrors and do some bicep curls and kiss my biceps. No. But yep, so that's what I'm able to do. And I'm still not even close to 100%.
Right.
I still get very, very, very fatigued. Last week I was good for about 4 hours a day of doing stuff, and then I would literally just lay in bed or on the couch the rest of the days. And here's what's really weird is that you would think like, oh, well, at least because I can be like really creative for businesses and do stuff and like just create and brainstorm and come up with awesome ideas. I couldn't even do that. I was just
Brain
kind of
was
like
gone.
I just couldn't even like thinking about things made me tired.
Every ounce of energy your body had was going straight to recovery.
Right,
Which explains all the halo top.
Right. So being the nutrition coach that I am, I was like, well, I'm going to be really good about counting my macros and making sure that I'm like getting enough food because I didn't have a very strong appetite. So I was like, I'm going to make sure that I'm getting enough food to support my recovery. I want to make sure that I'm eating enough protein or whatever. And then that was just like, I couldn't even handle that. That was just too much. I couldn't handle counting my macros. And then the one day that I did do it, I was like, this is not enough food for me. I mean, I honestly don't even know how to calculate how much my body needed at that point in time because it was working so hard just to recover. And that's why I was like, you know what? I'm just going to eat intuitively. And that involved a couple of pints of Halo Top.
That's intuitive.
However, my doctor did tell me I am supposed to be putting on some body fat because they have to do some procedures where they do like a fat transplant. They're going to be taking fat from some areas of my body to inject into my fake boob area to make it look a little more normal because it's really freakish right now. But that good news is I like no one, I don't have a job that requires me showing my boobies to anyone.
Yeah, thank God.
Right? Right?
So, since you did get tissue removed, did they run any tests on it?
Yes. Okay, so they take your breast tissue when you have a mastectomy, or really any tissue that you ever have removed from your body, and they send it to the path lab to make sure that it's not cancerous. This is just kind of standard protocol, but especially in women that are high risk like me. So they took all my tissue to the path lab, and it came back totally clear, which is yay, no cancer. However,
Semicolon, however, comma.
yeah. My MRIs actually showed some changes in my breast tissue that, which current research shows would have led me down the road to breast cancer within the next 5 years.
Holy shit.
Now, it's limited research. There's like 3 research articles that just came out on this, but,
So you don't want to take that risk.
Yeah,
no matter
exactly.
what.
So I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm glad I did this. And I didn't find that out until after I had the surgery. So, yeah, I was really glad. So no cancer, cancer-free. So hopefully I will not ever develop breast cancer,
Well,
which is awesome. My risk right now is 3%, which is less than the average woman's percent of breast cancer. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And so one thing you were telling me, and I don't think this problem's really been addressed, is like, how do you get back into fitness after all of this?
Yeah.
And so, why don't you talk a little bit about what you're doing, like, through your Instagram to try to help bring awareness to, like, post-mastectomy recovery and fitness?
Yeah, there are some women out there that have created some resources for women, like just rehabbing and stuff from having a mastectomy, but I felt like a lot of that stuff didn't apply to me because I started at a little bit higher level, and my goal is not just general fitness. My goal is to get back to be a competitive weightlifter. So I was like, well, and I know there are women in my support group that do CrossFit and powerlifting and different things. So I knew like there's a need to get this information out there. And so I started using the hashtag post-mastectomy fitness on my Instagram, and just posting up like what I was able to do. And it wasn't a lot, but just so that people could see, like, because one of the things that was really hard for me was like, you and I sat down and kind of talked out a plan, because I wanted to do all of the things, and I knew that was a bad idea. But I'm really driven, and I just like, well, I can push and I can do this. And I knew that was a bad idea. So
like the one day you jumped up to do pull-ups and I was like, stop, Kristin, no.
I wasn't going to do pull-ups. I was just going to see if I could hang from them. But I didn't hang. Don't be concerned. I didn't do it. It was really stupid. Mary keeps me from doing dumb things. But I really miss doing pull-ups. And the hardest thing for me was I felt like what I was doing in the gym was like nothing, like compared to what I'm used to doing. I did a few sets of squats and a couple of arm exercises and like a couple of accessory exercises, and that was it. I mean, it was like nothing, and it was hard to be motivated because I was like, what is the point of this? Like, I'm just not going to do anything.
Like, I don't have a plan and stuff.
Yeah, but that's not good either, because you have to like, getting into the gym is part of my recovery and rehab, like mentally and physically.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Things really started to turn around for me once I was clear to go to the gym. Like, it was exhausting, and it took all of the energy that I had. And so far, I've only gone twice a week since then. But
that's something,
right? And so I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna post up these videos, and it's like the same thing every time. I do squats and some sort of arm exercise or some lunges, but just so other women can see, like, even though you can't do a lot, you can still do something. Like, and just go do what you can do. And it might be a far cry from what you used to be able to do, but you have to start back somewhere. I'm basically starting from ground zero, because if you guys remember, going into this surgery, I was injured. So I had not squatted since October. And
Look at you at 50%.
I squatted 50%, 5 by 5, and then my legs felt like they were going to fall off the next day.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was Mary. Mary wrote that program for me. So
all things considered, things are going well.
it's going really well. Yeah, the hardest thing is just, so like I look normal. I look, well, okay, as normal as I can. As normal as I ever look. I look normal. I act normal. I'm back at work. People see me at the gym. But what they don't see is that there's like now, instead of it being 20 hours a day, it's like 16 hours a day that I just do nothing. Like literally nothing. Like veg out and pretty much like brain dead and dead to the world.
You text me.
I text you a lot of weird things.
We text a lot of weird things. It makes my work a lot better.
So that's the hard part. Like I expect myself to be back to normal, and then other people see me and they think that I'm back to normal, and they're like, "Oh, well, can't you just come do this, or can't you just come do that?" And I'm like, I have to tell a lot of people no, and that's not something I'm used to doing. I always want to help people or be there for people or hang out with people, and I can't. And so that's been incredibly challenging for me, but that'll continue to get better. And then I have to have one more surgery this year.
One more.
Right, and that will be sometime in the next probably 6 to 8 weeks. So it'll probably occur sometime in May or early June. And then I'll be done.
Then you'll be done.
And then 6 weeks from then, I can probably just do whatever I want in the gym within, capabilities. Yeah. So I'll be back on the road to training. I've got some big meets in my sights. So
2018. No, not even that. Like November, you were thinking.
Yeah, there's American Masters is in November, and it's in South Carolina this year. So I'm hoping maybe I can do that.
Well, I think you can. So, there's your life update.
That's my update. That's me.
Well, I think that if you guys have any questions for Kristin, you can shoot her an email at fiercelyfueled@gmail.com.
Yep.
fiercelyfueled@gmail.com, and she'd be happy to answer any questions.
Yep. Or find me on Instagram, just Kristin Lander.
Cool.
All right.
See you next time, guys. Bye.
If you like what you heard today, please help us connect with other female